Hello, and welcome to the beginning of our playthrough, Pillars of Eternity 2, DeadFire. So some talking beforehand. I don't know how long this will take, but my credentials, as it were. I have played a lot of RPG and action RPG. This qualifies as a classic RPG, I feel, because it is they call it isometric view. It is mostly turn-based, or at least it can be turn-based, and it has some classic tropes of the classic RPGs. And what I mean by classic RPG, I have played most of them. Dragon Age Origin, the Neverwinter series, the Baldur's Gate series, played all of those. Icewind Dale series, I've played all of those. Planescape Torment is a really good one that holds up, I feel, even today. So if you get a chance, play that one. And games along that line. I have played a lot of them over the years. For some people, the Mass Effect series can count. I qualify of those as more of an action RPG, personally. Because they're heavy on the action, kind of light on the RPG element, in as far as character talents go and that sort of thing. There are lots of choices in the game. Whether you feel the choices in Mass Effect have any meaning or not, I leave to you to decide. But I have played all of the Mass Effect games, including Andromeda, which I feel gets more hate than it deserves. I'm not saying it's a great game, but I am saying it gets more hate than it does. I have also played Dragon Age Inquisition, which is decent. Again, it has some good RPG-like elements, but it's definitely heavier on the action and some choices. I'm not sure how deep those choices you may consider go. Again, I leave that for you to decide. Still a good game, give it a shot. But we are going to play Pillars of Eternity 2 DeadFire. I have played the original. I've also played Tyranny, which is also another good game. In the first one, I played a moon godlike female moon godlike female chanter. So that is what we're going to play through this playthrough. I thought about doing a separate episode showing off the world creation and character creation. But the way they've built them into the game, you really can't do like a seamless episode. You've got to be cutting and pasting and editing, and I honestly cannot afford the software for editing, sort of thing. The free I have looked at free editing software, and it's not for my needs. They can't do what I need it to do, and I'm not about to spend, I don't know, I'll say $100 a month or something like that for software that I'm only going to use sparingly. So we're just going to go into the game. If anyone is interested in specifically seeing character creation and world creation, I have no problem going back, redoing those, and doing like a spot-on vid. Feel free to leave a comment in the comment section of the video if you want to see that. I will just mention really quick that there are, as in any good RPG, multiple classes. Let me see, hold on. Real quick, I wish I could put background music to go. In the background, I click out. That would be nice. Hold on, I'm just looking at. Where is it? Let's see. Hold on. There we go. There are hold on 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 possible classes in playthrough. Variety of styles to play. In addition, they add subclasses and multi-classing. If you want to go through this game and just have fun with the classes, there is a ton of replay value. If you do the math, that's 22 plus 11, 33. Oh god, I can't do the math. But there is easily something like over 100 possible combinations to mess with and play with in that. Like the world creation is done very interestingly. If you play Pillars of Eternity 1, which is a decent game, or a good game, I suggest you give it a shot. And import choices you have made in that game into this game. I can't do that specifically because my original game of Pillars of Eternity screwed up. By screwed up, I don't mean I messed up in decisions. I mean there was some bugs in the game, and I don't think I can. Like, I'm sure if I try to import it, it would work. I'm just not sure what world I would end up with. The issue being is that a lot of choices in that game were very binary, and that, you know, you could do... Well, that's not true. There are a lot of... like, for many choices, there are like 3 or 4 different outcomes. But there are a few choices in that game where you can either do one thing, like, say, destroy a machine, or use the machine, and that is it. For some reason, in situations where there was a binary choice, my game would let me take a third option. So to continue that, I think metaphor is the term I want, there is a choice in the original Pillars of Eternity game where you come upon a machine that is sucking up souls. Your choices are to destroy the machine and destroy the souls with it. Not destroy the machine and release the souls back to where they belong. Or not destroy the machine, absorb the souls. So I was able to release the souls, leave, come back, and then destroy the machine. Which I don't know why that wasn't an option. You know, and I will admit this, a lot of times when I look at a game, I can easily find a third option. Mass Effect Andromeda is rife with that, where they give you 2 options, like, well, you can do a third option in about 30 seconds. The original Pillars of Eternity has that issue as well with some choices, where you look at it and go, wait a minute, why can't I have enough time, why can't I do parts of A and B to get an option C, or D, or E? But overall, it is a good game. So that is one example. There's another example in the original game where you get a companion, and there are companions in this game, called the... what's her name? Something Mother. See if I can look it up real. I do have... where is... the Grieving Mother. And at the end of the game, you were given an option with it. Spoilers if you haven't played the game, but you're gonna have... I'm not gonna tell you what the options are. But you're... let me rephrase that. I'm not gonna tell you what the outcome specifically is. Actually, no, I am. So, spoilers. Consider yourself warned. And your options are to erase her memory or have her deal with the past. And you're supposed to get one specific ending for erasing her memory, and another specific ending for having her deal with the past. And I got a combination of the two. So, yeah, I'm not sure how that happened. But that did happen with quite a few things. Another good, a really good example is Haravis. I'm never gonna say this right. He's a druid you find. He is a unique druid in Pillars of Eternity, and you have to play the game to get into the story, but your options are supposed to be get him to go choose option A, in which case he follows a more pacifistic ideology, or option B, where he goes the martial ideology. In option A, where he follows pacifist, he becomes a wanderer and helps people, which is cool. He comes to terms with his issues. Again, if you want to know what those are, please feel free to play the game. It is worth it. And option B, where he becomes a martial philosophy, he goes back, deals with the elders, and becomes a elder of his clan. I managed to pull off, again, a combination of both endings. In my playthrough, at the end, I ended with sort of a blend between martial and pacifistic, where he went back, kicked the ass of the elders of his clan, became an elder, and then walked away and helped people. Which is not supposed to be an option, but somehow, in my game, that was the ending for me. So there are many issues in my playthrough. So I went back, and the way they do this is if you can't import your playthrough, or you don't have a playthrough for Pillars of Eternity, like the Mass Effect 2, and I think they do it in 3, they do that thing where they basically list, all of the choices you could possibly make in the game. They have it divided into like major events, and then major chapters, and then the events in each chapter. And you go through, select, what choices you've made, or that sort of, how you want to make, and that sort of. And those decisions as the basis for your Pillars of Eternity campaign. And that is what I did. And I went back and I tried to make the choices that most resembled what I originally tried to do in my playthrough of Pillars of Eternity. And I think I got it right for the most part. It may not be 100% spot on, but it's pretty cool. But that is the history we're going to. I will say, for the history, I wish, once you make a choice, you can't undo the choice without going through the entire process again. I wish they would change that. I also wish they gave you a better idea of what choices you make, how that would affect the world. Like, for example, there is a quest in the original Pillars of Eternity where you can piss off a librarian or help the librarian, and the choices they give you in the, select your story version of Pillars of Eternity, DeadFire sort of. I can either piss them off or help them. But I remember there being a third, fourth, and possibly fifth option. So, and I went with option 4 to give you an idea for this librarian quest, where I warn her about an incoming event. I tell her what her god made me do, and she's okay with that. But that wasn't an option that I could find in the select your choice. So it kind of sucked, because I'm like, well, I don't know if that's actually what happened. And like I said, I can't import my previous save. So I would like them, oh, I made this choice. Ah, crap, that doesn't feel like, I wish I could go back without having to do everything all over again. Because there's a solid 50 or 60 choices here. It took me about an hour to go through. And B, I wish it would tell you, okay, you've made these choices. This is the ending you would have gotten with those combination of choices in Pillars of Eternity. So now you know what's going to go into Pillars of Eternity 2. But they don't. It's basically just blind choice guessing and hoping that gets you where you want to go. So I don't know if they will. I don't know if they can. I would like them to go back and improve the choices you make. We're going to start the game. This is about 14 minutes in. It's not that bad. I keep forgetting that live is separate from recording. I am going to try to keep the playthroughs. Each episode for the series is going to be between 45 minutes and an hour long. I will do my best to keep it to that. It depends on where breaks in the story are, where I feel is a good time to break, or just time limits on the recording / streaming side. So please bear with me, but I hope you do enjoy the playthrough. I have been looking forward to this game. Plus we get to be pirates. How cool is that? And I do have a note card with the roles I have selected for this playthrough. Not the choices, but for the character creation. And once we get to character creation, I will talk about that a little. But again, and I will remind us again, when we get to character creation, that if you want, I can make a separate video focusing on world building, world creation, and character creation. Probably a separate video for you, where I go through everything. And if you want to see that, feel free to leave a comment. That sort of stuff. I'm going to go ahead and select new. We're going to do, I think, classic. I don't want to do veteran or path of the dead. I think classic is fine. I think relaxed would be too easy. Files of Iron is one save file. If party is killed, the file is deleted and you must start again. They had this ability for the first one as well, and there's also a expert mode. It disables a number of helpful features. I'm going to leave that in. I can turn level scaling on and off. I'm going to keep it off, and they do only scale upward. That's pretty cool, actually. I like those options. I wish more RPGs had those options. Game, so that's pretty cool. Again, classic, and these are the settings we're going to go. I don't want to do story. I think relax would be too easy. I think classic I'll probably end up dying. If I die an exorbitant amount of time, I will drop down to relax. But I do not foresee that happening. We're not going to do Trial of Iron, we're not going to do Expert Mode. We're going to go ahead and start this. Oh, I don't remember this pause being here the first time. Maybe they've changed it. Oh, no. Alright, well, that's scary. The first time there we go. First few times, that did not happen. I've got an update. Well, this is, there we go.
Eora, a world where mortals live, die, and are reborn through the turning of the wheel. The cycle of reincarnation watched over by the gods, and made possible through pillars of a mystical substance known as Audra. 5 years ago, you traveled from your home to the Deerwood, a nation that had waged war against the incarnated god of light, Aethys, resulting in his destruction. The country suffered from a plague of hollowborn, infants born without souls, that many believed was punishment for killing a god. In an ancient, secluded ruin, you witnessed a secret ritual that inadvertently transformed you into a watcher. One who can see and speak with souls. The ritual also gave you horrible visions, waking nightmares of a past life that threatened your sanity. To put them to rest, you pursued the man who had led the ritual, a seemingly immortal agent of the gods, known as Theos Ix Arcanon. With divine assistance, you confronted and defeated Theos, ending your visions and resolving the Hollowborn crisis. In so doing, you also learned the great secret that Theos had protected. That the ancient empire of Anguith had transformed themselves into gods. Your visions finally put to rest, you retired to the castle of Cadnua, built atop a massive statue of pure Audra, where you ruled in relative peace and prosperity.
I have to click? No, okay. Get this.
Made a nice story. You fixing up that old keep? Lifting the curse? Must have told it 100 times. But something got to gnawing at me. Thinking the spirits there weren't really at rest. That maybe the gods weren't finished with us. God came back. He would forgive us.
Well, that's not good.
Last the trouble with dreams. Sooner or later, we all have to wake
up. After all that time I took to build up Cadnua in the first game, I took my time. I even got an ogre to help me was it an ogre? Might have been a giant king to help me defend the place. I'm dead again.
And so you wake to a sleepless world. The in-between of life and death.
Okay, so not quite dead.
Follow your memories. You have been here before.
For now, left click and right click do. You have seen past the shroud. Are you watching now? Watcher.
You have seen past the shroud. You are a watcher now, and the watcher you stay.
A watcher sees souls, knows their pasts, and the souls see them back.
A dubious honor, inheriting a fortress both broken and cursed.
Running to the end of the line here. I love how this counts as combat.
What is a god? A higher power? A rewarder of good deeds and punisher of the wicked?
This is basically the old game.
Gods weren't real, but something else entirely. Something created by people.
Events of the first game.
And did you ever consider that these were things you were never meant to understand? That their comprehension is beyond you?
Bad guys always say that at some point. They're wrong.
Let the world see. Let them decide what to do.
Oh, here we go.
The wheel has turned again, Watcher. Come.
wasn't having all this issue with loading the first time I played.
An aged dwarf shares this strange floating platform with you. His face is creased by so many wrinkles that his features lie buried amid shadowy pockets of skin. Still, the dwarf's well-practiced habits have left telltale tracks of a welcoming rictus across his visage. You can see his smile coming before it blooms, reshaping the dwarf's face from a hanging sack of flesh to something resembling an oddly carved, merry gourd, replete with unhealthy bumps and discolored splotches.
Alright. This is Audra. Plays at almost any point a decent role in the storyline. It is crystallized soul, essentially. It runs through the planets, and that's how souls move. Love the background. Oh, hello. Mail. Interesting. So, I'm going to tell you this right now. I believe this is Barath, god of death. The first few times I went through this section, I have gone through it a few times. Up to this point, character. The person sitting in this chair was female. And to me, that looks male now. So this must be randomized. That's...
Please.
Cool. Actually. That makes sense. Alright. So that's the tutorial on how to interact with it. Yep. Alright. Basic interaction. Doors will close. Locked objects will be locked. Items will be kept. So on and so forth. Yeah, that's it. Yep. I got a left click. Alright. Right click is go to, left.
Thank you for joining us, Watcher of Cadnua.
The gaunt woman seated at the table is clad in time-worn black armor that seems too massive for her to move in. A pale, slender neck rises from the gorget, topped by a hollow face. The milky skin stretched across it is delicate and translucent, like parchment that has been scraped clean too many times. She is preoccupied with the arrangement of cards on the table between you. With each movement, her armor squeaks and groans as though bearing an incredible weight. She places a final card, gives a nod of satisfaction, and raises her eyes to meet yours.
They're saying her, but like I said, the first few times this loaded up, this particular, the word I want, avatar, was decidedly more, shall we say, female in features. This one to me is more male. It could still be a female. There's nothing wrong. And how however you identify gender is up to you. But because it is a god/goddess, she can appear however she wants.
Your brush with the divine has drained you of your powers, fractured your memories. Look upon these cards. They represent the courses of your life. You alone know best how they flowed. Arrange them to fit what you remember.
Alright, so they give you some pre-made options. And then, like I said, I made my own. I'll be honest, when I did a playthrough, it was somewhere between Benevolent Soul and Karen. I did not do Survival of the Fittest, everything bad or anything. I'm generally a nice guy, and I generally play my RPG as a knight. I don't think I was all Benevolent Soul, but I was somewhere in between the first two. We're gonna use the old Sith.
Does everything appear to be in order? Good.
That
Welcome
history.
to the Beyond. I am Barath. One half, anyway.
She points a finger in the direction of the dwarf who led you here. Though the movement is slight, her gauntlet squeaks like a rusty hinge. The dwarf's rictus returns as he nods in the woman's direction.
Tell me, do you remember when we last met?
Alright, I spoke with the god.
You did.
She places a card on the table. showing a tall tower with the gods' constellations arrayed around it in the sky. She places a card in the middle of the arrangement. A bell tower with no bell. Her
Hey, Smiley.
slowly drag away from the
How are
card,
you?
faintly creaking as they retreat across the table.
And like any good world creation, there are, I don't want to say good gods and evil gods, but there are traditional, like, oh, these are obviously benevolent gods who still have a dark side, which I applaud them for. And these are obviously not so benevolent gods. Wrath is somewhere in the middle.
You had need of the gods once before. Now it seems we have need of you. The being that occupied Odnua's statue beneath your castle was the dead god, Eothas. Of this we are certain. What we do not know is what his intentions are. Though Eothas stole a large fragment of your soul, you were strong enough to survive the onslaught and enter the in-between.
So not full-on dead, but somewhere in between.
You and he are still connected. He has chosen a body made of living Audra, perfused with the power of thousands of souls, including yours. It should be little difficulty for an experienced watcher to find him.
I kind of like my soul back. Am I dead?
No, but neither is your body truly alive. Your lungs draw breath, your heart pumps blood, but your flesh is as soulless as a hollowborn. That is, until I return you.
She delicately places a card upright on the table. The art depicts souls flowing out of a pillar of Audra.
I'm gonna go with the first one. Killed a lot of my friends and family. Kind of want, maybe not vengeance, but I'd like to know why.
I know. It is my business to know. 322 in Cadnua and your surrounding lands.
Oof. I would say, I'm trying to remember, I think I had a solid 15 or 20 in my garrison before the end of the game. Alright.
Their souls remain in Eothas still.
Ooh.
You have the power to save them. Serve me and I will return you to your body. Or don't, and return to the wheel.
Alright, so, again, I did a quick few practice streams last week. If you choose I'll take the wheel, you become reincarnated as a cat. And it counts as a non-standard game. So you live the life of a cat, you die, the wheel turns, technically you come back, do. We're gonna do Let's Get On With It, as that will start.
Before you return to Eora as my herald, you must remember who you were, the last whisper of life in death.
For a moment, the sockets of her eyes darken, leaving the pits of a death's head gazing out at you.
When you can picture your own face, the Beyond will lead you back to your own kind, to the world of mortals.
Alright, now we get into character. Alright. So, I am going to play again. And just like the best RPG, every choice you make can possibly have an effect on the game. So I know for a fact, depending on if you're male or female, that will affect choices you have access to. I'm going to do female, because that was what I played in my first game. Right? There are 1, 2, 5, 6 different races. Each race has sub-races. So again, I'm going to be godlike. Not the same number. Sub-races do not affect the stat bonuses. So, like, if I choose elf, no matter what elf sub-race I choose, I will always get a +1 to dexterity and perception. We're going to do godlike. The fire is actually a cool. And moon god. Right? Because that is what that is what I played in the first one. They do affect your background. Like, see, as you can see, dex and intellect all the way down. Some races do affect some perks, but not the stat bonuses. And again, you know, it can affect, you know, I might have access to different choices in different parts of the game because I choose Death Godlike over... We're gonna do Moon Godlike. Alright. Oh, body type! Huh! These guys are huge. I can't remember what body type I chose in the first one. I know it wasn't Dwarf, Forlorn, or... I think I went with Amala. Amula? I'm never going to be able to say that right. I'll hear it in-game and then hopefully... and the first 2 or 3 times I did character creation, I didn't have to select body type. At least I don't remember selecting body. That's... Alright, like I said, in this game there are single class and multi-classes. The difference being in single class, you can get 28 points up to level. You get 28 points to spend in your skill tree up to level 9 skills. Multi-class, you only get 24 points, I think. You get a few less points. Maybe it's 28 points. And you can only choose up to level 6 skills. Something like that. So, you know, you don't get the most powerful skills in a single class, but you do get to spread out, which gives you a nice little balance. We're going to single class. And again, there are 11 different classes. Each one has at least 2 subclasses. I have 3. We're going to do Chanter. And again, last game there were no subclasses. This time we're going to be a Scald. And the reason being, again, why we're doing Scald, weapon critical hit, % chance to grant a... So the way the Chanter works is I basically sing. Every time I sing an incantation, I get a phrase. An incantation usually takes about 6 seconds. Right? And every time I get enough phrases, I then use those phrases to spells. So a lightning bolt might cost phrases. That means I have to do 3 incantations, get 3 phrases to cast that lightning bolt. But that means that lightning bolt would only cost phrases. In addition, if I crit with a weapon, there is a 50% chance that I get a free phrase. So I like the idea of just hurling out offensive spells. Now I usually go summoner classes, I will be honest, in RPGs if at all possible. However, the Chanter summons are smaller and have reduced health and duration. Welcome back, Smiley. I would much rather have, you know, and it still increases the cost of phrase by 1. I could go no subclass, but I feel like going at this subclass is good. So, non-offense. So, my offensive, so direct damage invocation spells, essentially, are going to cost 1 less phrase. Everything else is going to cost 1 more. So the only difference between these is that I can hurl out damage spells faster. And my idea is I'm going to do wield. I'm going to be a mid-range fighter. Theoretically, I won't be in the front lines, but I'll be like right behind the front lines. And that will come important later. Alright, again, if anyone wants to see me do a specific video focused on world creation and like going through every class and subclass, I have no problem doing that. Just leave a comment, and if I get enough comments saying yeah, go for it, I will go ahead and make that video. So my idea is that if I'm do wielding, I will get enough hits, trigger the crits enough, get enough free phrases to spam my spells. And that is the build I am going. I'm gonna go ahead and click next. Alright, so like I said, I chant phrases throughout a fight. Every time I chant enough of those, I build up a phrase. So I only start with 1. I'm gonna do Come Soft Wings of Death because it deals damage and gives me a health effect. And for my invocation, it's going to be offensive. So, I can either reduce armor rating, which would be interesting. But I don't know how... Like, it doesn't do damage. This does damage. This is a summon. This is a... increases the armor of friend. This is stuns and shoves enemies in the area of effect. That could be useful. That'll push people back. Has penetration 7. Stuns and shoves enemy in the area of effect versus range. Lots of lightning cause shock damage to... I think I'm going to do the stun. I like the idea of stunning and giving my allies free. We'll go ahead and start with that. My next invocation will be a summon, and then I'll decide what to do. So I should be able to toss this out relatively rapidly. So I like the idea of lots of stuns being thrown around. Alright, now, on stream but off recording, I sat down and I figured out exactly what balance spread I want for this. In my mind, so they want you to have a lot of intellect and resolve, so I'm going to go ahead and bump that up. I'm going to put 12 in con, 12 in resolve. Wouldn't think to do a lot of perception, but the more perceptive you are, the more you are likely to hit, and we want to hit. I'm going to reduce dexterity down to 10. Okay, well this is interesting. And we're going to put everything in might. Why did I end up with 14, 12, 10, 14? Well, that is good. I like the bonus to health. Oh. Definitely, I don't like to go below 10. I have a thing. Whenever I build a character, I don't like to go below 10 if I don't have to. Unless I'm doing tabletop RPG, just because of it gives great RPG opportunity. But I like to keep everything at least average with above average. How about a 13? See that? Double. 6. Alright, I think we leave it as is. Why did I end up with... Interesting. Alright, well that is good. I am okay with that. There are a bunch of different cultures. Again, to affect possible choices you can have in game. And the original game I was from the DeadFire archipelago, so we'll go with that again. We are at the eastern edge of the known world. Oh, we get a free dex. That is why. If I go back to previous, right? No, we're gonna take... Yeah, that's why. Oink. There. So we know we're going to pick DeadFire. That gives me the free dex. Now I got 14 might, 12 con, 10 dex, 14 perception, intelligence, 12 resolve. That feels like a good spread. The reason why I went with intelligent, it increases my AoE. In the original game, it also increased your spell damage, but I don't think they're doing that this time. Might increase. We're going to hit hard, we're going to hit often, we're going to have a large area of effect, and our abilities are going to last a lot longer than our enemies. I am okay. Now, in the first game, I was a slave. Because I did survival athletics. However, in this particular game, I think I'm going to be a hunter for the mechanics and alchemy. At least right now, they don't let me pick my active and passive skills, whereas in the first game it did. So that might change. Again, you know, can do a separate video. Just leave a comment if you want me to do that. I'll go ahead. Next. Now here is where we go with weapons. Again, kind of theme for this game is, for this game it's just pirates. Get a ship, we get to be a pirate if we want to, that sort of thing. I will tell you, I am dual-wielding. So, the first game, you couldn't really dual-wield firearms. They weren't the best. So, in this game, the first game I did, crossbows, I think. In this game, I'm gonna go pistol. They're accurate. They're rapid firing. Again, the more hits we get off, the more likely we are to crit. The more likely we are to crit, the more free spells we get. So I like that. Just boom, 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 boom. At mid-range, I sit back. I do wield the pistols. Now, again, we're going to do wield even in melee. So I could do shields if I wanted to. If you notice, if I do right-click for... So, the damage is 10 to 14. Slash. The weapons, you do slash, piercing, or crushing damage. Alright? But some weapons can do both. So a sword can do slashing or piercing damage. So if they have slashing resistance, I'll do piercing. If they have both slash and piercing resistance, I do reduce damage. So, to be honest, it is always better to go with a weapon that does at least 2 types of damage. If you, as you can see, that's crushing, slashing, so on and so forth. The only 2 weapons that I found that do 2 points of damage, as we can, are swords and warhammer. Right? This is 11 to 15, crushing or piercing. 13 to 19, slashing or piercing. Either way works. You don't get a penalty for your weapon you're not proficient in. You just don't get really any bonuses. That's all. The chance to hit is the same. It's going to be my accuracy versus the reflection. Again, we're hopefully going to hit often. Attack time is the same, and recovery time is the same. Other thing to notice is this ignores is penetration. So this is penetration 6. That means if I get, I get a +6 to penetrating the armor. If I happen to do full penetration, I get an extra 30% damage. This is penetration 8. It's lower overall damage. In general, this is going to be 16. It's going to be 14. But I have a better chance of getting that bonus damage. So we're going to select Warhammers. So I'm going to be dual-wielding pistols and Warhammers. Hey, Super Mikey, I hope you're doing well. And that is what we'll be doing through. That will be weapon proficiency. For portrait, you can select any portrait you want. I do have all the free DLC, so they do have Vox Machina in there, for those of you who listen to Critical Role or watch. That's Keyleth right there. That might be Pike. I'm sure of Vexalia, and that's Grog. There's Percy. There's Scanlan. I'm not sure. I don't think I would recognize Vex or Vax. Again, I am a female moon goddess, and I think we're going to go with her. I just like the face. It matches pretty good. The colors are fine. The only thing we're going to change is the hairdo. There we go. Hey, what's this? Oh, that's cool! Ooh. I didn't notice that before. Oh. That's new, actually. In the original game, you only had the choice of this head. I kind of like the swept back horns. I do like that. But we're going to keep that. For hair, we're going to go with this one. I think everything else is fine. For the voice, I actually like the voice of Vexalia. I'm just afraid she'll say go for the ice trinket when I don't have a pet.
I won't let you hurt my friends! Alright, I'll go take a look.
I'm sorry, but you have to be stopped.
I'm not really a fan of the Vox Machina voices, I think.
Silence surrounds me. Oh?
We'll go Mystic, and for pose, we'll go Energetic. Now, I could do Drunk. Average? What's average? That's it? I don't like Savage. No Savage real. Not really my thing, so we'll go Energetic. Why not? She's upbeat, perky. So we will go with that. Alright, so there is our build. We are a Enchantress Skull, female godlike, moon godlike. That's where from the archipelago, from DeadFire, we're a hunter. Our weapon proficiency was, we went with Warhammers, because why not, and pistols. That will be my goal. Again, stand at mid-range, make sure my AoE is hitting a lot of enemies and friends. If I'm too far back, I only hit the friends. If I'm too far forward, I don't want to be in combat if I can help. So we will go with that. Alright, I'm going to hit next, and we are all set. And I will use the same name as my first play. That is... Welcome to the game. So there we go. Godlike. There is everything. Rapid shot, which is good. We can keep that up. We'll be tossing out stuns to begin with. Got 1 mechanics, which is nice. 2 arcana and alchemy. In my original game, I cranked the mechanics. I probably won't do that this game. I cranked the lore, which is not an option. Not C4. I don't know where I'm getting the sleight of hand, to be honest. Just because I have Chanter. I did some athletics, I did some stealth, I did a couple in survival. If I mouse over these, it tells you what she does. Challenges. Generally going, I tend to do this type of people, that sort of thing. So, that is what we will go through. Definitely going to toss some of the mechanics. Active skill. Definitely some of the alchemy and arcana. After that, I'm not sure. That is what we'll go with. Next.
Go forth now, Watcher, as my herald. Know that I do not give you this title lightly. When the time comes, you will have the power to reveal the souls that cling to you. To open the gateway from the in-between to the waking world.
Alright.
Find Aethys. Learn his plans. When I have cause to talk to you, I will summon you.
With a quick gesture of her hand, you feel a sharp pain in what would be your chest. The pain continues, intruding deeper into your soul. Looking down, you see a small lump of darkness roiling within you. The darkness lingers there, but the pain abates and fades entirely within the span of a few seconds.
A chime. Do not fear, Herald. It will not harm you unless you choose to cross me. I trust it will not come to that.
Her gauntlet
Keeping tabs on
gestures to the dwarf, hovering nearby. The dwarf nods, contorts his face with his odd smile, and gestures to a new door.
Alright. So I'm going to put a quick cut in here as we're about to start the game proper. I hope you're enjoying this video, and I hope you enjoy this series as a whole. As always, you're welcome to leave a like, comment, or subscribe, or come on over and check me out on Twitch when I stream live. Thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day.